So with Nvidia announcing the RTX 3080 tier of their cloud streaming GeForce Now experience, I decided to play the current priority tier on various setups. Can you really play this anywhere? I'm going to use a portable monitor and see if I can play the current priority tier, if it's an enjoyable experience, and if this GeForce Now really has more value to it than we initially thought. So let's get started. Hey guys, Tiago with Classical Technology here. Remember to subscribe and smash that like button. So today, let's take a look at GeForce Now. It's really meant to be able to be played on anything. According to Nvidia, you can play it even on, an Apple MacBook. You can play it on an older PC. You could even play it right out of your browser. And with the upcoming RTX 3080 tier, which is certainly very, very impressive, at least with the specifications, you can play ray tracing 1440p, 120 frames per second, as well as up to 4K HDR if you have something like the Nvidia Shield. For now, the priority tier at $49.99 for 6 months is the best that you can get. Roughly, it's about like 2080 level hardware. And remember, you're streaming your GPU, not necessarily buying one. Some people may not like that, but for a lot of people, it may actually be a decent solution. So recently, I was also sent a KYY Portable Monitor. This is a 15.6-inch monitor that basically, it almost folds up like a big iPad. You can connect it via USB-C and HDMI to your gaming computer. This is actually very, very useful if you need to move around and you don't want to lug a very, very heavy monitor. This will be a 1080p monitor. It's not really high refresh rate or anything like that, but for most games, and especially when you're playing something like GeForce Now, I think it's actually going to be a very, very nice experience. Now, first, I did try to do GeForce Now on a much higher resolution monitor. This was a 5K monitor that I tried, actually running off a Mac via the GeForce Now cloud, and honestly, that first experience, I didn't really like it. On a 5K monitor, the 1080p streaming, even with a decent internet connection, just looked a little bit too blurry. I didn't really like the graphical look too much. I think it's really not doing that great of a job upscaling, especially not to 5K. So before the RTX 3080 tier comes out, which will allow you to do 1440p or up to 4K HDR if you have the Nvidia Shield. 1080p is basically the best that you can do right now, and this portable monitor actually is perfect for that because it is 1080p, and I found that the games look much, much better on a 1080p monitor as it's meant to be, and it's only going to be 60 FPS anyway, so it's not like you're losing out on any type of refresh rates or anything like that. You're going to have to wait until the newer 3080 tier comes out before you can access those much higher 120 frames per second refresh rates and things like that. So GeForce Now, because it's really usable on many different systems, it's not using your actual system hardware. Something in combination with, let's say, an older PC or even a mobile device that you can connect this monitor to, that actually does open up a lot of possibilities. Let's say if you go on vacation and you don't necessarily want to go and swim in the beach like a normal person, but you want to play games, instead of lugging around a very heavy monitor, you can bring something like this, the portable monitor, and as long as the place you're staying has some good steady internet, you should be able to play without any issues at all. Of course, if your computer or laptop that you're bringing already has integrated graphics and you don't want to use GeForce Now, you can use this monitor to the same effect. Looks pretty great. Of course, it's not going to be like a 240 FPS gaming monitor, but for most games, most casual games, single player, anything that doesn't really require an extremely high refresh rate, this monitor certainly will be very useful. It's pretty easy to just prop it up in any corner. The case, if you guys have ever used a tablet or an iPad, it basically looks like a very big tablet. The case props itself up magnetically so that way you can hold it. It does make the placing of it a little bit more flexible. Sometimes I kind of wish it had a stand or something like that if it's somewhere where the case isn't as practical, but the good thing, after you use it, you can literally fold it flat and it's out of the way. Could really be a great gaming station if you place it in the kitchen or something like that, as a room that's not a traditional gaming room, because while you can have it up and play it like a regular computer, when when you're done and you want it out of the way, you can literally just fold it up. Actually, a really cool thing too, you connect the USB-C either to a little power brick that it comes with, which traditional power, but you can even power this off of your own computer or something like that if you really want to be mobile and have less cords and less cable management. So while it's not a solution necessarily for a desk that you're never going to move, this is really something if you need to move it to a different place in the house, or like I said, if you go on vacation or go somewhere, especially in conjunction with something like GeForce Now, which allows you to play on almost any type of hardware as long as you have a pretty decent internet and kind of low latency. So that's certainly a great combo between a portable monitor and sort of a portable hardware system where you can play on something that traditionally would not be able to play these type of games at the performance level that you're playing. And aside from GeForce Now, certainly a portable monitor like this does have other utility. Like for example, I always like to build computers. Sometimes I'll have my main one and then I'll have a second computer that I'm building, and it's usually a hassle to move the monitor cables from one to the other. So having something like this that I can just prop up on top of the computer to monitor whatever I'm doing, maybe install Windows without having to touch my main setup, actually very, very practical. Then you just fold it up and put it away. So I want to thank KYY for sending this to me in order to evaluate it. Certainly very enjoyable monitor, and especially with GeForce Now, I see how the utility of being able to play anywhere with a pretty decent graphical representation like with GeForce Now. Even though I understand some people don't really like the streaming service, it's not exactly like a real GPU, but imagine the possibilities of playing on anything, especially with a portable monitor. Certainly opens up your mind a little bit to what may be possible in the future. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank KYY once again for sending me the monitor for me to evaluate. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.